Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Support for the community programming provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is Wednesday, August 26th. It is 6:01. Let's go with 6:01. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I'm in the studio this morning with a very sleepy Peter Coles. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's just been one of those weeks, you know?
At least all the paperwork we talked about, you and I and
Yep.
my wife talked about, is getting done today.
Perfect.
And signed today.
That's perfect. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
That's
Yes.
a very good thing.
We're getting legal affairs in order for a elder member of the family.
Yes.
And that's always a good thing. It's always important, and we preach that
Yep.
over and over and over again. Get your legal affairs in order. Everyone should do it, but particularly if you are over the age of 60. Make sure that your legal affairs are the way you want them. This is the time to plan. Find an estate planning attorney. There are lots of them out there. We have some really good ones here locally. Get those affairs in order.
The problem with humans is they always think they have more time.
They do. And, that's a natural
That's
thing.
human nature.
Yeah, it is human nature. And even if, especially for those who are in good health, they really feel like they have all kinds of time. It only takes, I say to my husband, it takes one crisis.
Well, heck,
One crisis.
with my kidney stuff, I was like, all right, well, I need life insurance now.
Yep.
And how do I, pull insurances that would help me
Yeah.
if something happened or if it declined quicker than we thought or
Yep.
even whatever.
Yep.
Like, get all that stuff in order now and just get it
Yep.
fixed, which is what I did this past year,
Yep.
just in case.
Yeah, it's a process, and people, and especially too, I say to folks, if you're in a second marriage, you just want to make sure that you have all of your affairs in order, so everybody knows, who's doing what, who's responsible, and also it gives you time to check with people. Don't just appoint people of, like I want my son to do this or my daughter to, talk
sure
to
they're
them about it.
capable of it, yeah.
Right. Make sure they want to. As a matter of fact, right now I have a bit of a dilemma because I have for my healthcare proxy, obviously I have my husband and he has me, but then you usually list a secondary. I mean, God forbid we're in a car accident, we
Sure.
both,
Yeah.
So I have my sister-in-law, and she said to me last year, she's 9 years older than I am. And she said, Tina, I'm just now at this stage of my life, I'm not comfortable with that. And I understand that.
You may want to shift that. Now is where you shift it to your kids.
Right, exactly. Because when we set it up 15 years ago, Grace was 20 and not the person I was going to let, be responsible for my health care. And my sister-in-law was 15 years younger and was perfectly willing and capable. So, things change. So that's the other thing that I always let older adults know. Go back and review. If it's been a while, things have changed. If you have grandchildren in your will and, you made it up 5 or 10 years ago and you had 1 or 2 grandchildren and now you've got 6, well, guess what? The other 4 aren't in there. So if you want them in there, you got to, just revise it.
Yep.
And that is certainly doable. Any good attorney is going to walk you through that process.
Yeah. So we're going through that. And of course, my wife is an empath, so she's frazzled
Yeah.
with the legal stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And sleeping in a bed that's not hers because she's trying to stay close to the hospital. And
Yes, her dad's in the hospital right now. And
Right.
Yeah. And that's my other thing. And, you and I were talking about this off air, Pete. It's almost like you almost have to have an advocate. If you're in the hospital, you're going to have an advocate. Like, you have to have somebody there virtually almost like 24/7. I trust no one.
Yeah,
it's just, and it's
every time I've been in, I'm advocating for myself because
Yeah.
that's the only way you're
Yep.
either going to process yourself out
Yep.
or get the treatment, because the problem is the way the hospital systems are set up, and I found this out the hard way, is that hospitals go off shift and they don't always pass everything on or put it in the notes.
Yep, that's exactly it.
That's the biggest problem.
That is the biggest problem. It's just that information is in there somewhere, but somebody didn't tell somebody, or it didn't get documented that, there was something going on this shift, and, the next group comes in. Well, I didn't know anything about that.
She's finding that out too, because
Yeah.
the hospitalist that was really fighting for him to get into a rehab because he kind of really needs that before he goes back home, it is not going to be on the next 2 days.
Yes, right. And that's the other thing, now even with the same thing with nurses, they work these like 12-hour shifts, 2 days in a row or something like that, and then they're off. So, the
it's like
person.
a firefighter schedule.
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit more like that, I think, because that was the way the nursing, they're all unionized, so that was the way they wanted it.
But they found that the rest periods work better that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it, but it just makes continuity of care for the patients more challenging because you find somebody, you like somebody, you get to know them, they get to know you and your healthcare, and then they're gone.
Yep.
And by the time they come back, you've been discharged.
And the other thing too is overcrowding.
Yeah.
Because he's at St. Francis and he's been there since Monday. And he might have gone up to a private room or a room last night.
Where was he in a holding room, or sometimes they're
ER.
Literally in the hallway?
He was in a room in the ER.
Yeah.
But you're still in a room in the ER,
Right.
and it's not that same because they're busy with other stuff.
Right.
It's not that same
Yeah.
level of care
Yeah.
that you get on a floor.
Yep.
Yeah. They're running around with trauma cases that are coming in off the street.
Right.
And you're stable.
Right, and that's their job. Their job is to get you stable so that you can be moved elsewhere. And once you're stable, they're back to the gunshot wound or whatever's coming in.
And that's literally what's coming in.
Yeah.
She said it's gunshot wound or somebody with an officer sitting next to him chained to the bed.
Oh yes, we had that when Grace played sports and was taken by ambulance a couple times because of injuries. And I remember the one time she was at Bay State, and she was flat on her back, and they had taken her out in a board because she had smashed her head against the basketball court. So all she could do was look up. She's on the gurney. I'm next to her, and she's out in the hallway. It was like on a Friday or a Saturday night at Bay State. Well, you can imagine, right?
That's like that all the time now.
This was 15 years ago.
When I went in for my back, I was the same thing. I could just sit on my back.
Right. So Gracie said to me, but she could hear somebody right next to her on the gurney next to her. Well, it was a guy that was, handcuffed to the gurney. I didn't want to tell her that. I said, he's looks like he's in kind of rough shape, Grace, but he's sleeping, But so I told her later, I'm like, he was handcuffed to it, so.
Yeah, this guy was
a little scary.
This guy was a bit annoying because he was detoxing at the same time.
I had a guy, Pete, when I had my second foot surgery. I had a guy when I was in recovery that was literally screaming. Same thing. He was detoxing. He had tried to it was a planned surgery that he had. He had tried to schedule, I guess, whatever his meds were going to be after the surgery. Well, whatever happened, he was not happy. And I got to tell you couldn't get me out of there fast enough.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like
it was bad.
When I went in for my back, and then they left me dwindling in the ER, and the hospitalist left.
Yep.
I thought I was getting discharged, and I got to go up to a room. Well, the guy I went up to the room with was talking to himself, and I thought originally he was talking to somebody on the phone.
Right. Yeah, which would be logical.
Wasn't. He was talking to himself,
Yeah.
and he was watching. I don't know what age he was, but he was talking in Spanish to himself, and he was watching Phineas and Ferb on the TV at full volume.
Oh Lord!
And nobody would tell him to turn it down because I think that was the only way he wasn't literally lighting up the ward.
Right. Understood. Yeah.
And I had to deal with that. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be fun."
Yeah.
Where are my noise canceling headphones?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I didn't have.
Well, I felt badly because this guy, they sent in several different staff members trying to, talk him off the ledge.
Sure, yeah.
But, when Gary came to get me, and finally the nurse came to get me, and she said, we're getting you out of here. Like, what, we're going to move you so that you're waiting for your husband out in the hall, which was wonderful. And I told Gary, I said, this was one of those guys, Pete, if he had a weapon, he would have used it.
Absolutely.
He was really off the charts, and I just thought, this guy's going after somebody. He was so upset. And when you're detoxing and he was clearly in a lot of pain, but clearly with a lot of issues. So yeah, scary stuff. And these nurses and doctors, I felt terrible for the nurse. They were doing the best they could, and they kept sending more people to try to deal with them. But anyway, not good stuff. So
that's been my week.
That's been your week, yeah. So we'll see how this all unfolds.
Well, hopefully he gets out today and gets discharged to rehab. So
yeah. And so now, did you have a nice weekend before all this started? Because he went Monday, right?
Yeah.
No, it's like what happened over the weekend. Well, we had the Westfield Fair. I don't know how that went.
Christy went to do something with her girlfriend on Saturday.
Okay.
And I did something else. What was I doing on Saturday?
I know. You know what, Pete? Isn't it funny? It's midweek, and it feels like it's the same thing. I'm going.
I couldn't remember on Monday what was going on.
Yeah, no, I know. I hear you. I absolutely hear you.
But I did something, and then Sunday I felt kind of yucky.
Yeah.
I think I just ran errands on Saturday.
Yep.
And then I was with the dog, and then I kind of felt crappy on Sunday, so I just kind of stayed home and watched TV.
Yeah. Yep. That works. I did. I was at the senior center Saturday because I was getting the newsletter finished for, that's my deadline to get it to Jim Corwin is the Saturday before it comes out. So, and Friday afternoon, I still had people submitting things to me, changing things, and that happens. I mean, it's just like the newspaper business. I mean, things happen last minute. I had an article that I had to squeeze in there that I thought was really important. It was about fuel assistance, and it had literally just came over Lynn Hill's email like Friday morning, and Lynn said, Lynn told them at Valley Opportunity Council, she goes, I don't know that Tina can get this in the newsletter. It's due tomorrow. She's finishing up, and but when I read it, I said, it's important stuff. So now I'm trying to, I don't have a lot of room, so I'm trying to cut down here, and can I move this and take this out? And so there was a lot of jockeying for positions. So I knew I wasn't going to get it done Friday before I left. Plus I had Mimsy duty. So I had, Grace had to work and Gary was gone. So I said, all right, and here I come in on Saturday and I'll get that done. And while I was in there, I did some medical equipment. I had people,
Of course you did.
Well, I had people, I get it. I had people desperate. I need this, and I just said to him, I'm like, here, I'm here for, whatever, till 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, whatever it was. I said, so if you can get down here before then, and you have to schedule a time with me because my office is upstairs and the building is locked. I said, I'm not unlocking the building with me upstairs. So I said, I will meet you downstairs at, you give me a time. So
back in the day, you used to be able to see out to the
I could. Back in the day when my office was downstairs, I had the shade up and I could just look out and I'd see them come in, I'd go running. But anyway, they were, I have to say, when I do things like that for people, 9 times out of 10, they are so appreciative because they get it. I said to them, listen, I'm here for 2 hours or however long I was there for. I said, you're welcome to come. Give me a time. Otherwise, you can come Monday. It'll be downstairs and you can come anytime on Monday. And no, I'll be right if you're there. I said, come on down. What the heck? We'll have a party. So anyway, it was, so that was busy. And then Sunday, I just catch up. Like Sunday is my catch up, getting all my stuff done, my errands and cleaning my house and, whatever. I feel like I just constantly am putting things away. I just am picking up. It's just, it's just.
I kind of felt bad because Christy had to move. Her oldest daughter had a storage unit up here, and then they were going up in the price. They like nearly doubled their price.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Because they had an increase last year, and because they had only been there for 2 months, they got to continue at the same price for a year. They cranked it up this year.
Okay.
And the younger daughter had a storage unit down in Oxford. She goes, hey, you may want to look. They're having specials right now.
Okay.
And it looks to be a lot cheaper. So they got a bigger storage unit for less than what they were.
Oh, wow.
The original place they were paying up north, but they had to move everything. And I felt really bad because I was like, I'm going to be of no use to you moving, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just no use.
Yeah.
So her and her ex-husband did it, and then the younger daughter came down and helped them unload the truck, which was super helpful. But I just felt so bad.
Yeah. Was it like box type stuff, or was it like furniture and things like that?
No, it was only one piece of furniture.
Oh, okay. So mostly boxes and things like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was still, one place had a cart, the other place didn't.
Yeah, I get it.
We have a hand truck, but the tires were flat, and I'm like, all right, I'm trying to help her inflate the tires.
I know. I get it, Pete. I have done the moving in and out of storage, and Gary and I moved a lot when we in our younger days. We moved.
We as Americans have too much junk.
I totally agree, and I've given the directive to my family that either they start getting rid of stuff, or I'm going to start getting rid of stuff while they're not around.
We did that. We purged both of our houses, right? And now there's some stuff in the basement, but it's not too bad.
Well, Gary and I
one daughter is kind of like, the youngest is, figuring out her next contract, so she needs the space.
Yep.
And then the oldest daughter obviously got her issues, and she needs the space too.
Yep.
Because she doesn't know where she's going to end up. But they both said they want to purge.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have, Gary was saying the other day, and I kind of forgot about that. I worked on the attic a few years ago, and Gary said there's virtually nothing in our attic. There are 3 or 4 things we got rid of. He had old patient files, which over the years we've, taken out and shredded. He had to hold them for so long. And so that's all gone. Christmas decorations, we brought everything downstairs. I went through everything several years ago, did a tag sale. Whatever I'm keeping is going down in the basement, so it's easy for me to get to. We just scaled down everything, but it's time for a redo on that one. So
I made the important step of never allowing anybody up in the attic in our house.
Yeah, well, nobody's been in there since I don't know, since before COVID.
My ex-wife, I allowed her to put nothing up there. I didn't. So we're not even going to open the hatch.
Yeah, that was a smart move.
It was absolutely a smart move because when it came time to clean, it was like, all right, it's just the basement. And then upstairs and little loud stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
good tip for everybody.
It is a very good tip. That's an
only open the attic to get rid of the squirrels.
Yep. Yeah. We had a bat up there. That was what really prompted it. We had a bat up there at one point, and I said, okay, I'm not going up and down in this attic, so we're cleaning it all out, and it hasn't been, it's up there. Whatever's up there is up there. I mean, in terms of animals or whatever, I can't hear anything, so I think we're good.
Yep.
So, all right, it is 6:17. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. It is, it is Women's Equality Day, and we're going to talk about that when we come back. So, but to lead us into that, we'll listen to a song from Mary Poppins called Sister Suffragette. We'll be back.
We're clearly soldiers in petticoats, dauntless crusaders for women's votes. Though we adore men individually, we agree that as a group they're rather stupid. Cast off the shackles of yesterday, shoulder to shoulder into the fray. Our daughters will adore us, and they'll sing in grateful chorus. Well done, Sister Suffragette. From Kensington to Billingsgate, one hears the restless cries. From every corner of the land, womankind arise! Political equality and equal rights with men. Take heart, for Mrs. Pankhurst has been clapped in irons again. No more the meek and mild subservience we're fighting for our rights militantly. Never you fear! So cast off the shackles of yesterday, and shoulder to shoulder into the fray. Our daughters will adore us, and they'll sing in grateful chorus. Well done, well done, well done, Sister Suffragette.
Support for community programming provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. Visit bettsplumbing.com or 14 Coleman Avenue, Westfield. Public welcome.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM, WSFD.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM, WSFD-LP, Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:20. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15, WCPC. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host. I'm in the studio this morning with the chairman of the board and our chief engineer, Pete Coles. Good morning again, Pete.
Good morning. We did the groundbreaking for the new police station.
I saw it's on the front page of today's Westfield News, so that's very exciting. I have to say, I read that whole article. I stopped at the senior center on my way in this morning to the studio. Saw that on the front page, read the article, and I mean, there were a ton of people in that lineup, and I was impressed that they got everybody's name in there. But that is an ambitious schedule because they are hoping to do the ribbon cutting for the new building next September, and I thought, well, that is ambitious. Having gone through this process myself. But we did it. I mean, the senior center, we actually finished construction early, believe it or not, when we built the new senior center. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that will happen, and they won't have delays. And if they can get it framed out before, that was the thing that they did with the senior center. They wanted to get it all framed out before the winter.
Yep.
And then they work inside. They bring in
once you work inside, it's easy.
Yep. So they can move pretty quickly.
So Kenny did cover it. I went over there. Jay helped with a tent.
Great.
And helped me bring over the podium, that big sticking podium that's in the studio. I'm ordering a lighter one.
You know what, Pete? I got to tell you, when we moved from the old senior center to the new senior center, we had a podium at the old senior center that weighed 1 billion pounds.
Yes.
And we had this just one step up that we called, that was like the stage area. And I humped that thing up and down that one step for 10 years. And when we moved into the new senior center, somebody said to me, "Oh, aren't we going to bring the podium?" I said, "Not on your life. They can burn that thing."
Yep.
I said, "I am doing exactly what you said, Pete." I remember working with Eric Bascom from, who was our furniture guy. I said, "Eric, I want a podium. I want it on wheels. I want it lightweight and good looking, and it's perfect. It's we don't have to lift it because it's on wheels, so we can move it around. But if we do, it's really light as a feather. It's it's
I
great."
ordered one that's based off a lighting truss, so it's like all silver and diamond plate.
Yeah, ours is black, and it's got drawers that it's got doors that you can open. It's got a couple of cup holders, so if your speaker has a water or whatever, it's
ours
perfect.
It's going to be 39 pounds.
Yeah,
which is the important part.
Yep, that's perfect. I get it. All right, so let's talk about Women's Equality Day, which is today, August 26th. The United States Congress passed the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, granting women full and equal voting rights on this day in 1920. Every year on August 26th, we commemorate this right with National Women's Equality Day. While in London at the World Anti-Slavery Convention in 1840, several women were denied access to the convention floor, planting the seeds for a women's rights movement. Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Staton, along with Martha Wright, Mary Ann McClintock, and Jane Hunt, set in motion plans for the first women's rights convention in Seneca Falls, New York. Held at Wesleyan Chapel July 19th and 20th, 1848, the conference drew 200 women on the first day. On the second day, the convention opened to men, and there were some men who attended. During the convention, leaders presented 12 resolutions. They enumerated in the rights that women should be equal to men socially, economically, legally, and representatively. Of the resolutions, all but the 9th were approved unanimously. The right to vote created concern. Many women felt that it would cause large numbers of their backers to withdraw their support. However, after much debate, and with the support of abolitionist Frederick Douglass, the 9th resolution also passed. Women's suffrage began in earnest in the United States then. Another advocate, Susan B. Anthony, joined Stanton in 1869 to create the National Woman Suffrage Association. Through nearly 10 years of persistence and lobbying, the NWSA introduced an amendment in 1878. Despite years of debate, the amendment was defeated by Congress. Ultimately, it would take another 34 years before a new amendment made it to Congress. For several years, advocates continued passing the batons. New states entered the Union. Their constitutions included rights for women, that states before them never had, and that was the right to vote. Civil disobedience ensued. Eventually, with women gaining equality, Congress passed the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. On July 30th, 1971, Representative Bella Abzug presented a bill designating August 26th as Women's Equality Day. That year, rallies, celebrations, and political debate filled the country on August 26th. By 1973, Congress passed a joint resolution declaring the day to be observed on August 26th of each year. So, happy Women's Equality Day, and thank you to all of those women, Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony and all of them for paving the way for the rest of us. And I take the right to vote very seriously. And that said, we do have a state primary election coming up less than a week from today. It's next Tuesday, September 1st. Just as a reminder, the Senior Center is the Ward 2 polling station. So no lunch that day, no indoor dining, and no coffee and no breakfast sandwiches that day. But we will be doing the Highland Valley outdoor curbside lunch. And all of the other programs will be as scheduled. But that is where we're voting. And, I know sometimes primaries, and we do have a lot of people running unopposed this time, but there also are some interesting races. So please make sure that you get out there and vote. The polls will be open.
We are airing a debate of a forum of the congressional candidates minus the incumbent.
Okay.
The one running in the primary against them and the one running in the general against them. So
Okay.
that's airing. I'm trying to carpet bomb that airing in prime time.
Okay.
So you can at least figure out what they're about.
Yep, exactly. And the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., just so that you got all of that. All right, birthdays. It is the birthday of the late Mother Teresa, Catholic missionary born on this day in 1910 in Macedonia. She died in 1997 at the age of 87. Mother Teresa was the founder of the Order of the Missionaries of Charity, a Roman Catholic congregation of women dedicated to helping the poor. Considered one of the 20th century's greatest humanitarians, she received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 and was canonized as Saint Teresa of Calcutta in 2016. In 1931, Sister Mary Teresa took her first profession of vows and traveled to Darjeeling, India. She was sent to Calcutta, where she was assigned to teach at St. Mary's High School for Girls, a school run by the Laredo Sisters and dedicated to teaching girls from the city's poorest Bengali families. Sister Teresa learned to speak both Bengali and Hindi fluently and dedicated herself to alleviating the girls' poverty through education. In 1937, she took her final profession of vows to a life of poverty, chastity, and obedience. As was the custom for Laredo nuns, she took on the title of Mother upon making her final vows and thus became known as Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa continued to teach at St. Mary's, and in 1944, she became the school's principal. On September 10th, 1946, Mother Teresa experienced a second calling, the call within a call that would forever transform her life. She was riding in a train from Calcutta to the Himalayan foothills for a retreat when she said that Christ spoke to her and told her to abandon teaching to work in the slums of Calcutta, aiding the city's poorest and sickest people. Since Mother Teresa had taken a vow of obedience, she could not leave her convent without official permission. After nearly a year and a half of lobbying, she finally received approval to pursue this new calling. Donning the blue and white sari that she would wear in public for the rest of her life, she left the Laredo convent and wandered out into the city. After 6 months of basic medical training, she voyaged for the first time into Calcutta's slums with no more specific goal than to aid the unwanted, the unloved, and the uncared for. Mother Teresa quickly translated her calling into concrete actions to help the city's poor. She began an open-air school and established a home for the dying, destitute in a dilapidated building, she convinced the city government to donate to her cause. Over the course of the 1950s and 1960s, Mother Teresa established a leper colony, an orphanage, a nursing home, a family clinic, and a string of mobile health clinics. In 1971, Mother Teresa traveled to New York City to open her first American-based house of charity. In 1985, she opened Gift of Love, a home to care for those infected with HIV and AIDS. So happy birthday to the late and memorable Mother Teresa. And on that note, it is 6:31. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC, and there is a song that is specifically for and about Mother Teresa. It's called Angel of Mercy, tribute to Mother Teresa, and it is sung by Victory Chorus Line. So we're going to listen to that. We'll be back.
Oh, Mother Teresa, though we've never seen you at all, with amazing grace you led your life, and you did us a throne.
You embraced the teeming masses, you picked the poor from street and drain. Your smile lit up their dreariness, giving hope at the mention of your name. Angel of mercy, you lived your life for the lonely and the poor, always bringing joy and hope in arid dryness like a fresh green pasture. Angel of mercy, you showed what one servant of God could do. Your presence will always live on, fresh as the morning dew.
With valor you live, in squalor you found your noble call. Your smile lit up a million lives, rich, poor, big and small.
Yes, the work of God you cheerfully did, right to the very end.
You are not just a memory, you're a saint, a mother and a friend.
Angel of mercy,
May we learn to be like you in everything we do. Giving our time,
giving our love,
giving our lives in service.
giving our lives in service.
Ooh, angel of mercy, you lived your life for the lonely and the poor, always bringing joy and hope in arid dryness like a fresh green pasture. Angel of mercy, you showed what one servant of God could do.
Your presence will always live on,
Fresh as the morning dew.
Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:35. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching Cable Channel 15 WCPC. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host. I'm in the studio this morning with the chairman of the board and our chief engineer, producer Pete Cole. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning.
So you just did that bump about from Harry. How have you? I haven't touched base with Harry in the last week. So what's the update?
He's improving. A lot less bruising.
Good.
He's up and around a bit, but he's still. I don't think he can drive yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But he's improving.
Good.
He just can't quite sit. Like he's like, I'd really like to be in the studio, but I can't quite sit in those chairs yet.
Yeah. Right. I know when I talked to him about a week and a half ago, he was still having to lay down a lot because he was having to elevate the hip and the leg.
Yeah, now he apparently can sit, but there's a lot of pillows.
Okay, yeah, that's
to kind of cushion things.
It's a process.
Yeah, that's a major surgery.
It was a major surgery. It was a process. So we were wishing you well, Harry, if you're listening in. All right, more birthdays. It is the birthday of Robert Cowsill. Robert Cowsill is a musician. He's 77 years old this day. Born in 1949 in Portsmouth, Virginia. Back in the 1960s, four brothers who wanted to be the Beatles, but they weren't, formed a band called the Cowsills. And the original Cowsills consisted of Bob on the guitar, that's whose birthday it is, and the organ, Bill on the guitar, Barry on bass, and John on drums. Early recordings were released by the four brothers on Joda and Mercury Records. Mom, Barbara Cowsill, joined the group to record The Rain, The Park, and Other Things. And then shortly thereafter, 7-year-old Susan and brother Paul were added to the group. So total, there were 7 in the Cowsill family. This was like before the Partridge Family came along. They were signed by MGM Records, and the group began its climb to the top. The Cowsills enjoyed great success during the late 1960s and into the very early 70s, not only with their music, but, as one might guess, appearing as guests on many television shows and even hosting their own TV special. The Cowsills were also spokespersons for the American Dairy Association and appeared in commercials and print ads for milk. The group disbanded in the early 1970s, but most of them have never really left the music business. So happy birthday to Robert Cowsill, age 77 today. It is also the birthday of the late Fred Milano. Fred Milano was a singer, born on this day in 1939 in the Bronx. Ooh, he died on January 1st, on New Year's Day, 2012, at the age of 72. But Fred Milano was an American doo-wop singer. He was a second tenor and a member of the group The Belmonts, who became successful in the late 1950s as Dion and the Belmonts. And you'll recognize some of the songs they sang. The Belmonts got their name from the street that Milano lived on, which was Belmont Avenue. Hits included Shout, A Teenager in Love, The Wanderer, and I Wonder Why. So happy birthday to the late Fred Milano. Now, going from the performing, segment to the scientific segment, today is the birthday of the late Albert Sabin. Albert Sabin was a physician and a scientist, born on this day in 1906 in Poland. He lived to the ripe old age of 86 and died in 1993. Albert Bruce Sabin immigrated with his family to the United States in 1929 when he was just 14 years old. He was awarded a medical degree in 1931, trained at Bellevue Hospital and the Lister Institute of Preventative Medicine in London, and then returned to New York in 1935. He joined the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research as a research assistant and became an associate of the institute in 1937. In 1939, Albert Sabin accepted a position as associate professor at the Children's Hospital Research Foundation at the University of Cincinnati, where he developed its Department of Virology and Microbiology and did his work on the oral polio vaccine. Approved for use in late 1960 and licensed in the United States in 1962, the oral vaccine became the polio vaccine of choice for its ease of delivery. and that was a sugar cube or syrup. But when I was a kid, it was the sugar cube. That's how we took the vaccine. Sabin developed the widely used oral attenuated or live polio vaccine. A form of the oral attenuated vaccine is used today in the worldwide effort to eradicate acute poliomyelitis. However, some countries, including the United States, now recommend the inactivated polio vaccine. But happy birthday to the late Albert Sabin. And, you know, my mother often used to tell the story because that vaccine came out in the early 60s. And my brother, I was born in 1957, but my brother was born in 1948. And, you know, during his childhood, there was a great concern by my mom included, but by most mothers about, the spread of polio. And we had a neighbor of ours who dated a guy who was affected with polio before the vaccine came out and was, used crutches for the rest of his life. I mean, it was it was kind of devastating. So they were my mother said, I can't tell you how grateful we were when that vaccine came out. It is also the birthday of Macaulay Culkin, actor born on this day in 1980 in New York City. He's 46 years old. Who can believe it? Like the Home Alone kid is 46 years old.
Yep.
Culkin made his feature screen debut in 1988's Rocket Gibraltar, but it was his charming turn as John Candy's precocious nephew in 1989's comedic hit Uncle Buck that made him Hollywood's favorite child actor. His stardom hit meteoric proportions the following year when he starred in the wildly successful holiday comedy Home Alone. The film was the highest-grossing film of the year and spawned a slightly less successful sequel, Home Alone 2: Lost in New York, in 1992. In 91, Macaulay Culkin impressed audiences and critics with his heartfelt and endearing performance as the best friend of a troubled young girl in the tearjerker My Girl. Subsequent films were underwhelming and emphasized Culkin's waning popularity. But, when he was a kid, it was all about him. And I mean, we can all, you can always just remember that vision of him as the, as Home Alone with the, screaming out there kind of thing. So happy birthday, 46 years old. I'm feeling old, Pete. I don't know. We can't, before we take our next break, we have to acknowledge that Dolly Parton passed away yesterday. And that was just sad. I mean,
Yep.
what a legend, what an icon.
Like a true nice person.
She always, I believe that because she always.
There are no even rumors of her being a jerk to anybody.
No.
Not even a whiff.
No, I agree with you, Pete. I mean, I think what you saw was what you got.
Yep.
I think she was just that really genuine, obviously so talented and so much fun, but oh my gosh, so sincere and so giving. They said the town where she grew up in Tennessee.
Sevierville.
Is just.
I've been there. That's where we got our marriage license.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I knew you were down in that neck of the woods, but I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Yeah, they said the town said she has given so much back to the town.
Yes,
There's
she
a wing
has.
of the hospital that's named after her.
Yep.
Some
She
health
put
clinics
Pigeon
for
Forge
women.
and Gatlinburg on the map.
Yeah, for sure. So I know. I found out late yesterday afternoon. Of course, I had spent several hours prepping for the show. I said, well, had I known, we would have done all Dolly songs, but maybe the next time. Maybe we'll go out with one. But anyway, just condolences to the family and just
She
so
lost
many.
her husband a
so
couple
many-
of years ago.
No, she lost her husband less than a year ago.
Oh, it was like 6 months
It
ago?
was, yes, it was in March. I wasn't sure because we were talking about it when I found out she passed away, and I said, well, she was devastated when she lost her husband.
Yeah.
And I said, I feel like that was within the last year, and Carol Shannon said it was March. And I think it just changed her.
Yeah.
I think it just, and she apparently had her own health issues, and
Yep.
I've seen that time and time again. And there are some couples you just know.
They're so emotionally linked.
When one goes.
Yep.
Well, my parents, it was a year and a half. And it was funny from the time my dad passed away. And my mom was, relatively healthy and, driving and doing and independent and all that
Yep.
stuff. And she literally my mother just literally, that was it. Just one day. She was, one day fine and the next day gone. It was really kind of the way we all want to go, to be honest with you, but really
Yep.
unexpected out of the blue. So anyway, tribute to Dolly Parton. She's pretty special. All right, it is 6:45. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. We're going to take a short break. We come back. There's an important event going on this Saturday that I want to talk about here in Westfield. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. But for our break, let's listen to Dion and the Belmonts in honor of the birthday of Fred Milano. We're going to listen to them singing "The Wanderer" because I like the song.
Who will never settle down where pretty girls are. Well, you know that I'm around. I kiss them and I love them, cause to me they're all the same. I hug them and I squeeze them, they don't even know my name. They call me the Wanderer, yeah, the Wanderer. I roam around. Oh, well, there's Flo on my left arm and there's Mary on my right, and Janie is the girl, well, that I'll be with tonight. And when she asks me which one I love the best, I tear open my shirt and I show a Rosie on my chest, cause I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around. Oh, well, I roam from town to town. I go through life without a care, and I'm as happy as a clown. I with my two fists divine, but I'm going nowhere. Oh, yeah, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around. I'm never in one place. I roam from town to town, and when I find myself falling for some girl, yeah, I hop right in that car of mine. I drive around the world. Yeah, I'm a wanderer. Yeah, a wanderer. I roam around. Let it roam, let it go. Oh, yeah, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around. I'm never in one place. I roam from town to town, and when I find myself falling for some girl, I hop right into that car of mine, drive around the world, cause I'm a wanderer. Yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, cause I'm a wanderer. Yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, cause I'm a wanderer.
Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause.
Join us the second Wednesday of every month for Joe Didi's take on, well, everything. Listen to The Joe Didi Show, second Wednesday of every month at 8 a.m. 107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 6:49. You're listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host. I'm in the studio this morning with the chairman of the board, Pete Coles, and our chief engineer. Just to let you know, second hour at about 7:15, Nikki Cornelius will be joining me. Nikki is the development coordinator at Stanley Park, so there's a lot happening at the park. There has been a lot happening, but there are some big events coming up at Stanley Park, so we're going to be talking about that later in the second hour. I do want to draw your attention to this because, Pete, you and I were having a conversation at the beginning of the show about about, sort of getting affairs in order and also getting our homes in order and cleaning out attics and so forth. This Saturday, August 29th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at St. Joseph's National Catholic Church, which is right on Main Street, 73 Main Street in Westfield, they are having an electronics recycling event. So there is a long laundry list of what you can bring to this event. It's great. I mean, this came across my desk last week and I said, I am so going to do this. So first of all, for free, this is what they'll take for free. Reusable bicycles, cell phones, keyboards, tablets, video game media and accessories, wires, chargers, cables. Do you know how many wires, chargers, and cables we have in our house that nobody even knows what they go to? They're all just in a big box. I'm bringing the whole box. Car and truck batteries. So that's all for free. Then what you can bring, there is a cost to you, but for $5. Computer towers, laptops, DVD players, got one of those. VCRs, got one of those. Small printers, stereos, radios, alarm clocks, speakers, video game consoles, table lamps, fans, hair dryers, curling irons, projectors, paper shredders, power tools, drills, cameras, clocks, trophies, frying pans, holiday lights, and other small electronics. That's $5. $10. Small household appliances, vacuum cleaners, Roomba, toaster ovens, ceiling fans, floor lamps, air fryers, electric grills, hot plates, small radiators, keyboard pianos, coffee makers, ice makers, small garbage disposal, sewing machines, strollers, and car seats. That's $10. $20. Flat screen computer monitors, microwaves, dehumidifiers, and they are hard to get rid of, by the way, air conditioners, water coolers, large printers and copiers, leaf blowers, chainsaws, heat lamps, artificial Christmas trees, fire extinguishers, and propane tanks. $25, it's TVs up to 26 inches, outdoor grills, dorm-size refrigerators. $30, you can get rid of TVs between 26 and 35 inches. Washing machines, dryers, stoves, dishwashers, large appliances, large yard equipment, treadmills, exercise equipment, snow blowers, lawn mowers, rototillers, large generators, motors, and water tanks. And then finally, $35, TVs over 36 inches, large refrigerators, ride-on lawn mowers, and projection TVs are $40 each. They're taking it all. I mean, that is huge. It's just such a convenience to have it in one place. I don't know where they're going to put all this because I didn't think the parking lot was that big, but hey, they got it covered. So that's this Saturday, August 29th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., St. Joe's Catholic Church, which is right on Main Street and just before you get to the downtown area, right kind of near Dunkin' Donuts in that area. So that's my thing. Pete, what did you want to say? You said there's some other stuff going on this weekend. That's my big news.
The Southwick 250.
Southwick's 250. I totally forgot about that. That's also on the 29th, right?
Correct. That'll be in the
Saturday.
afternoon. So they're doing the parade in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then everybody can head to Wally Park and the racetrack.
Yep.
For the food trucks, they're going to have 91 South is the band.
Okay.
And then apparently they have a huge fireworks show. They raised a ton of money.
Oh, that's so great.
So I think it's nearly double what they would normally pay
excited.
for their normal fireworks show.
Oh, nice.
Because of the 250 celebration, they wanted to have a huge show this year.
Yeah.
So they raised a lot of money.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
They always do theirs later in the year because it's cheaper.
Absolutely.
You get more bang for your buck, literally.
So, exactly, so to speak. But you know what? Plus, what a great way to just close out the summer. The kids are going to be heading back to school next week. So what a great sort of final celebratory.
And they kind of like
that's great.
They kind of like tag team because the Rotary extends their concert series to do this event.
Yeah.
All the food trucks. It's right before they head into fair season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like this is kind of like the lull before fair season.
What a great idea!
And then the farm parade usually they do in like around harvest time in September, October.
Yep.
But they were like, all right, well, why don't we just redo it for the 250? And they're going to come out of the school.
Mm-hmm.
and then down 57 for a short period, and then into the Wally Park area.
Oh, how fun. How fun. So that's going on in Southwick on Saturday.
Yep.
What do we know? Do we have a weather report? Is it supposed to be decent?
I think
hope.
so, yeah.
I mean, we've had this beautiful stretch. This week has just been banner. It's just been a great week.
That has me worried about the Big E.
Yeah.
'Cause usually when we have this stretch,
Yeah.
Right now, it's going to be 80 during the day, 55 at night, and clear.
Perfect. Are you kidding me? That's perfect.
Very minimal clouds.
Awesome.
So good weather.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
and
Saturday.
I will be over there with the truck. We're going to do.
Perfect.
Kenny's going to run around and try to do the parade.
Okay.
And talk to people around, and then we're going to do the band and the fireworks.
Perfect. And by the way, speaking of Ken Stomsky, who's doing that, I'm working my way through his book on cruising.
Are you going to go on one?
You know what? He almost has me sold, but I have to. And Gary thought it was hilarious. Gary saw the book on my dresser, and he goes, "Why are you reading a book on cruising?" He said, I saw Ken Stomsky wrote it. I said, well, that's why I'm reading it, because Kenny wrote it. He was a guest on my show.
I'll tell you when we're going if you guys want to go at the same time.
I have to tell you,
it's always nice. It's always nice when you cruise with another couple that you know.
But Kenny gives a great argument for solo cruising too. I'm just starting that chapter. I have to tell you,
I wouldn't mind doing that by myself if my wife doesn't want to go.
You know, the book is, if nothing else, I said to Gary, if nothing else, the book is very entertaining and very honest. And I love the way he wrote it. I'm enjoying every word.
Well,
when you see him, tell him I'm having a ball reading this book.
Kenny is entertaining.
He is entertaining. And the book is really, but it's also very, very, very informative. So Gary's going on an Alaskan cruise next fall with a group. Now I know what cruise line it is. So I looked it up in Kenny's book. I said to Gary, well, you're in luck, because Kenny gave it a lot of good, there were a lot of good points that he made about that
particular
particular
Princess
cruise. Yes, it's Princess.
They're known for their Alaskan cruises.
Yeah. And Kenny gave them a pretty
That's
much of
where
a
the Love
thumbs
Boat
up.
came
So
from.
yeah, I know.
It was the Alaskan cruises too.
Yeah,
the Pacific
exactly.
cruises,
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Now, at the Senior Center tomorrow, I have to announce this because this is like big stuff. So we are having our big purple Totally Fun Fitness class. So Carol Palmer and the Totally Fun Fitness crew has been raising money for the Alzheimer's Association all during the month of August. We've called it Active in August for Alzheimer's. So all of her classes this month have been drop-in, $5 pay as you go, and all of that money collected is going to the Alzheimer's Association. This afternoon, I'm going to see how much we have so far. But tomorrow, we're culminating this whole thing at the end of the month. One big class. We're going to do it in the Great Room, which we did last year. Everybody wears purple. And in fact, her class, Lori Furkey, they sold T-shirts, Totally Fun Fitness T-shirts that are purple so that everybody can wear purple tomorrow. Last year, Carol Palmer, of course, had to show up not just in purple, but in a purple tutu, among other things. There was things on her head, and you know Carol. Lots of fun. So tomorrow, Thursday, August 27th, from 9:30 to 10:20 is the class in the big Great Room. So poor Alex has to get rid of all the tables in there, and we just need a big space. Wear purple. Everyone is welcome. It's $5. So whatever we've made to date, we're going to add tomorrow's to the kitty. Last year, we had about 50 or 60 people that did it. It was an absolute blast. And we did it, and everybody, all the participants were like, can we do this more often instead of just once a year? It was so fun. Now, that said, there is no coffee tomorrow, no coffee connections tomorrow, so the mail call class, you can't, sorry. And there are no sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches tomorrow, because there will be no furniture in the Great Room. It's just going to be a big empty space with chairs along the outside, because I think Carol's going to be using chairs. I have assurances that Mike Squindo, our executive director, will be where I reminded him yesterday. I said, Mike, wear your purple. He said it's washed and ready to go for tomorrow. So he will be there participating. And I have to tell you, so last year, Mike and I both did it. I was kind of working the sound system, so I had to be close to the back of the closet. Mike was next to me, And I found out that Mike's legs are about 6 miles long because Carol had us doing some kick-up things. And the next thing I know, his foot is like practically kicking me in the head. And I said, hey, I got to take a few steps back. He's got a wingspan that's like the size of an eagle. I mean, he's just, he's tall. He's like 6'4". So when he starts jumping around and, flying, the arms were flying, the legs were flying, but we had a great time. It is open to everyone. You do not have to be a Totally Fun Fitness class participant. You do not even have to have done a fitness class with us. It's just a lot of fun. It's a great time. You do it at your own, you do what you can. I mean, don't feel you don't have to keep up with the Joneses or anything. So anyway, that's tomorrow, 9:30. Be there or be square. All right, it is 7 o'clock. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15. We're going to take our top of the hour break. When we come back, I have a few more announcements, and then at about 7:10, we're going to bring Nikki Cornelius in from Stanley Park. We'll be back.
Support for the community programming provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:03. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15, WCPC. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host, and I'm in the studio this morning with the chairman of the board and our chief engineer, Pete Coles. Good morning again, Pete.
Good morning.
So tomorrow, reminder, is Farmers Market from noon to 5 on the front lawn of the Church of the Atonement. Parking is in the backyard. Or in the back behind the church. The church is located at 36 Court Street. In case you're not familiar, it is the huge gray stone church. You really can't miss it, and you'll see all the white tents. I don't know I checked the musicians for tomorrow, so I think the first act is called the Russells, which I've never heard of. But the second one from 2:30 to 5 is Chip Arnold, and Chip's played at the Senior Center. He's played in a lot of the women's club shows, the theater
sure,
productions.
yeah.
So yeah, super guy. So anyway, that is tomorrow. And we've had so much going on with produce and bacteria and blah blah blah. I have one of my seniors who just said, buy local, and you can be pretty well assured that it's safe.
Yeah, because that stuff came out of Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. But this stuff is coming out of the farms in the local area, so
which have better water quality.
Absolutely.
That's where that foodborne illness came from. Is bad water.
Yep, exactly.
Being sprayed on the fields.
Yep, exactly.
And then it just transfers into the produce.
Absolutely. So farmers market tomorrow from noon to 5, and again, it's promising to be a lovely day. So great time to get out there. I also want to do a shout out. We ran this month because Harry Rock has been laid up with his hip surgery.
Yep.
We did kind of a best of. We brought back one of the Westfield Council on Aging Presents episodes that we ran a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Funeral Planning 101 with Jimmy Adams from First and Adams Funeral Service. It's about an hour long, and I got to tell you, it's probably one of the most informative ones that we ever aired, Pete. I mean, I listened to it again, and he covered so much ground in that 1 hour on funeral planning, what to do, pre-planning, costs, options, services. It is so informative. I would really encourage you, even if you did what I did. I mean, I watched it, a few years ago when we brought Jim in and Harry interviewed him. The information hasn't changed. It is still relevant, and I would really, really recommend it. So that plays on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It airs on Channel 15 at 2:45, and of course, it's also bundled on YouTube. With all of our other best Council on Aging Presents programming.
Yep.
So check that out. If you're not sure how to access that, it's all in the newsletter. Check the newsletter, page 6, the Voice of Experience newsletter, and you can see how to do that. But it was just a great segment. I also want to do a shout out to Judy Duffy, Judy was on our show last month with her sister Dory. New Earth. They were running the Art for Good program. So they did the summer art classes at the Senior Center. But Judy also has been running a Tai Chi class, and there's no charge for it. It's Mondays from 11:30 to 12:30. And I started taking the class because with my having had 2 foot surgeries in 8 months, I'm not yet running. I think I can start walking again, like distances.
Yeah.
So that's really coming along. But I started taking Tai Chi because I just thought, well, I talked to my foot surgeon, and she said, sure, go ahead. That would be fine. My first class, I did it kind of sitting down, but then then as my foot healed, I moved. And I have to say, it's a really interesting class. It's different than what I'm used to because I'm more of a dancer, and there's music, and with Tai Chi there's no music, and I kind of find there's a lot of memorization. There's a lot of knowing what the moves are, and we're learning them, and Judy does it beautifully. She's very slow, which Tai Chi is slow anyway, but I mean, she only adds 1 or 2 new moves a week, and then we review and we go back over, and it's been really great. And we have consistently had about a dozen people in that class, which is a very nice size class for a new kind of class that we're doing. Judy's going to teach it through September. Then she and Dory return to Florida for the winter. And Ellie Burke and Ruthie Dagno. Ruthie is Julie Barnes' mom. They have both been doing Tai Chi with Judy because they all live in the same condo complex for a long time. So Ellie and Ruthie are going to take over the class and just continue. So anyway, that's Mondays from 11:30 to 12:30. I highly recommend. Also, we have Yoga for Strength with Angelica Lopez on Tuesday afternoons from 2:30 to 3:30. We moved that from Friday to Tuesdays because that's just a better time slot for a lot of people. So feel free. That's $5 a session. Carrie Bodendorf has her groove sessions on Wednesdays from 9 to 9:45. That's becoming increasingly popular. And of course, we have beginner line dancing on Wednesdays from 11 to 12:30, and that is becoming increasingly popular. So lots of new fitness things, and of course, all of our other fitness things, programs. We have on Fridays is our regular line dancing, and our instructor for the 20 years that I have been at the senior center is finally retiring from instructing. Clara Sanborn, who is 91 years old, has been leading the group. And she said her doctor said to her at her last appointment, you have to give up teaching it, but continue to still do it. But there's a lot to facilitating, and she does it like 4 days or 5 days a week at, senior centers all over the area. So, she's unbelievable. She's unbelievable. And she said she's going to keep dancing. But part of it is she doesn't drive. So there's that responsibility of, somebody in the family having to get her there early so she can kind of set things up. So she won't have to do that now. She can just come regular time and have fun. And so she's passing the baton to a woman whose last name I don't remember, but her first name is either Diane or Diana. And she's been working with Clara for a while. So I just want to do a shout out to Clara Sanborn and for the many years that she has run that program, because it's huge. I mean, we have 25 to 30 dancers in there every Friday.
Yeah,
you came in and taped it. Yeah, it was absolutely full. She's great. And then last year, when WOW did its Age of Essence photography session, and Bill Hughes came to the senior center, we set up a studio, and he was doing photographs. It was only people 90 and older. Clara was one of the people that they photographed, and Bob interviewed her, and so she was part of that. And she was so honored that we asked her to do that. So all good stuff. All right, it is 7:11. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. So we are going to bring my next guest in with a song by Bruce Springsteen, because one of the things we're going to be talking about is the upcoming Run Stanley event. So we're going to listen to Bruce Springsteen singing Born to Run, and we're going to bring Nikki Cornelius in here. We'll be back.
The amusement park ride
Underwriting for the community programming is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:17. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host, and my guest this morning is Nikki Cornelius.
Good morning.
Not a stranger to this studio. Nikki is the development coordinator at Stanley Park, the gem of Westfield, as you know we refer to it. And I don't know if anyone has noticed that I'm wearing my Run Stanley T-shirt, which I think was this last year's.
Yes, I love that color.
Well, I have
combo.
like
It looks
6
so
Run
great.
Stanley T-shirts, so I was picking one out last night, and I said, I don't remember. Well, some of them have the years on it, so I thought, okay, well, I don't want to wear that because they'll know that one's 6 years old and that one's 7 years old, and that was, but yeah, I have a whole array, all different colors, navy and green, and this one is like really comfortable. I really like it. So anyway, so Nikki's here to talk about. Well, we're going to talk about Run Stanley, of course, but you have your big annual fundraiser coming up.
Yes.
But before I turn this over to Nikki, normally I would say this with my announcements, but I saved it, Nikki, until you got here.
Nice.
Because I've been announcing every week, see? You can see all my cross-out lines. The children's programming. We also, of course, announced all the Sunday evening concerts, but there's one more children's programming.
Yes, I can't believe the summer is almost over.
I know. So the children's programming is Friday mornings. It's been happening all summer.
Yes.
I'm happy to say that my 3-year-old granddaughter has been to like 4 of them and thoroughly enjoying. And I told my daughter, I said, you have to go to the last one because this looks so fun.
Ed Popolarczyk is
Yes.
such a fan
Ed
favorite.
Popolarczyk, he's a professional magician, balloon sculptor, flea circus ringmaster, and storyteller. And he's been entertaining children and family audiences for over 40 years. I mean, how fun can this be? So Friday mornings, 10 o'clock, right, at the Beverage Pavilion.
Yep.
A $5 per family donation is appreciated if you can do that. Chairs are provided, blankets are welcome. My granddaughter's been having a ball. And of course, after that, or before that, depending on what time she wakes up in the morning, oftentimes Grace is like, okay, she's been up since 6 o'clock, so we're going to head over to Stanley Park and feed the ducks before we go to the program at 10 o'clock because I got time to kill. But they've been having a blast. I think the children's programming is second to none.
Oh, thank you.
So
We have
anyway.
a lot of fun putting those on for the kids. We all get to feel like our own little kid for an hour or so.
know.
It's great.
I know. And she came home when you had Breeze balloons. She came home with her balloon dog. Oh my gosh, yeah, the pink balloon dog, and that was we put that in the cradle, we put it in the stroller, we put it everywhere.
Oh, that is the cutest. Bree would love that.
Yeah, super happy. All right, Nikki. So you have a lot happening.
Yes.
You are kind of rounding out. I mean, things really ramped up in the spring, of course, over the summer. And one would think, we're heading into the fall, there's really not anything left, but you have a couple of really major events. So let's start with one of those 2 major events that you would like to talk about first.
So the one coming up next is our annual fundraiser on September 12th. So that's an in-person event. It's being catered by the Bubble Mug Cafe, which we're really excited about.
Now, has Bubble Mug Cafe catered this event before?
They have not. They do the concessions for us at the Sunday night concert, so we already have a great relationship with them. And the caterer that we had been using for the last couple years, she's actually getting married on the day of our fundraiser. So unfortunately, they weren't available.
Well, I have to say though, I have been touting Bubble Mug Cafe because I went there for the first time with a Totally Fun Fitness class from the senior center about a month or so ago. I had been trying to get there because they all go. All my seniors all go. And it's like, Tina, you haven't been. You have to go. So I went with them. It was fabulous.
The food there is phenomenal, and the atmosphere is
perfect, right?
So great.
So I'm so excited. So they're catering for you. That's going to be excellent.
I'm really excited
So
about
tell us
it.
about this event. How does this work? And how would people get tickets, or how does it all happen?
So you can purchase tickets online, or you can stop by the office with a check or cash. So Friday is the deadline to reserve your seats, because we got to get that head count in and start prepping for all of that. But we do have our online auction and raffle. The preview is live right now. You can get the link to it from our website right on the homepage. The highlight section has the link for it. And the bidding and online entries start on Monday and goes through September 12th at 8 p.m. That's when the fundraiser is taking place. So we'll have all of the physical items on display if you're in attendance. And we'll also have some in-person raffles that you can only win if you're there.
Okay.
It's going to be 5 o'clock is when it starts. During the cocktail hour, we're going to be doing a garden tour with our head horticulturalist, Paul, who's been with us for 51 years.
Wow.
So he is a wealth of knowledge about all things roses, everything in the garden. In fact, he does our fall Putting Your Garden to Rest nature workshop, which is one of the few things that we have left on the calendar still. And Ward Caswell is going to be here as our guest speaker. So he is the great-grandson of Frank Stanley Beveridge, the park's founder.
Wow.
And he's the president of the Beveridge Family Foundation, which is what provides about 70% of our operating expenses every year.
Nice.
And then the fundraiser is, helping us kind of bridge that gap between what they are able to provide us and what we still need to keep the park free for the public.
Perfect. Yeah. So tell us, do you know, I know, and I have to tell you, Carol Palmer is on that committee because Carol's been talking about this event, like she started talking about it a couple of months ago. So we've been promoting. Do you know what some of the prizes are for some of the raffle prizes that are going on? Do you want to, give us a little taste of that,
Absolutely.
Nikki?
So
entice us to, get online.
Yes. So one of our big draws is a dining experience, private dinner for 4 people in our Carillon Tower. So we have a private chef. He comes. He cooks some of the food right in the tower for you in front of you. Wow. We do the cocktail hour on the 2nd level outside, so you're overlooking the rose garden. And then you go down into the vestibule and have your dinner surrounded by the beautiful stained glass windows. Wow. And that is a huge draw.
I'm sure that it is.
That, you can't get anywhere else.
Well, I've never been inside the Carillon. I mean, just to go in would be kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So that's definitely one of the big things.
And when do they usually do the actual, if you win the dinner in September, when does he actually do the?
The dinner is scheduled for Friday, October 2nd.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
So just a couple weeks later.
Okay.
But it starts getting dark really early, unfortunately, and that the park closing depends on that. So we wanted to get it in before it gets too cold, and we've done it a few times now. The chef, Daniel Mahoney, does an amazing job. He works with the winner to curate the perfect menu from the appetizers to the dessert.
Oh, wow.
It's phenomenal experience.
Okay. All right.
We also have a private plane ride out of Barnes Airport for 3 people, do a scenic fall hour-long plane ride, which I really want to win.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
We have a week stay out in the Cape for next September. It's right on the bay. And of course, local businesses have been very generous with gift certificates. We have designer purses. We have tickets to the Thunderbirds and the Yard Goats. There's so much stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's definitely has something for everybody.
That's what it sounds like, yes. Because sometimes, you kind of feel like, well, I'm not really into that. But, there's a nice variety here. So you ought to be able to find something that you want to bid on.
For sure. And if not, it's never too early to start planning for Christmas and getting those certificates and some nice gifts for the family.
Yeah. Great idea.
Yes.
So if people want to access that, just remind us, Nikki, again, how can they access that? Because I know I got the email that said, okay, it's up online. I haven't had a chance to open it up, but how would somebody go about doing that? Go to your website.
Go to website.
Which is what?
Stanleypark.org.
Okay.
On the homepage, scroll down a little ways. There's a highlights section, and it should be the first article there. It has the link to the site that it's called Octria, and there's 3 different options. So we have dollar raffle tickets that you can purchase, and there's a variety of items in there. There's the auction, so those are bidding, and then we have big ticket raffle items like for the Carillon Tower dinner, for the trip out to the Cape. So those are a little higher. There's $5 tickets up to $25 per chance.
Okay. And the ones where you're bidding, so do you know when you go in, I've not done this, so do you know what the bid is at? So do you know what, okay, so you know where they are, and then you have to obviously bid higher than that. Okay. All right.
And you can select like a maximum bid. So I'm willing to pay up to $500 for this.
Okay.
And then if someone goes in and bid, it'll still be at the lower amount, but if someone comes in and increases, they'll immediately be outbid.
Oh, it'll automatically, does it tell you what the increments are? Like if somebody bids, say 300, your max is 500, somebody bids 300, and it automatically bids for you, what's it going to put it in at?
It'll put it up to whatever they did. So if they were willing to go up to, say, 350, it'll now be at 350.
Okay.
But they don't see the maximum bid that someone put in there. They just immediately are told they're not the highest bidder. Someone has outbid them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So that's a really great thing to do if you really want this and don't want to have to keep checking in. It's a great way to just make sure you're getting that item.
I know, and there's always one item like that. That is me. Like I get my eye set on one, and then it's like that's the one I'm checking and I'm checking and I'm checking it. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I definitely want that hot stone massage from Puffers, so I'm doing that.
I had one. I was bidding. It was at St. Mary's High School. This was years ago, and my daughter attended there, and it was all in person. That was before all the online stuff. But somebody had made this gorgeous Irish Afghan, and my niece was getting married, and she had spent a year in Ireland under a fellowship. Studying genetic counseling over there, and I wanted that Afghan fur, and I want it. I got it because I got to tell you, I went back and forth, and right at the 11th hour, and somebody put in, again, and one of the women who was working said, Tina. And I said, what? Because I had just checked it, like literally a minute before. She goes, you better check it again because we're about to close. I said, oh my gosh.
Thank goodness she was looking out for her.
I think whoever was bidding against me, I think they were just trying to get a little bit more money. That's okay. I was perfectly, I was willing. It was all going to a good cause. And that's what this is. It's all going to a good cause. So.
Yes.
All right. Absolutely. So that's happening on September 12th, which is a Saturday.
Yes.
We're going to pray for good weather.
Yes. And if perchance it's not the best weather day, we do have Westfield State as a backup location.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So we're able to go over there. And unfortunately, we wouldn't have a garden tour then, but we would be able to do everything else still.
Okay.
So.
All right. So perfect. So, so if you want to purchase tickets, that's by this Friday.
Yes.
Okay. But the bidding, if you want to get into the, to the raffle and the bidding and all that, that's right up until the 12th because you'll actually be announcing winners right at the event. Is that how this works?
Yeah. So because it's all online, the app notifies you automatically if you're the winner. But anyone who's in attendance can then grab their stuff at that time and take it home with them.
And I understood from Carol Palmer, so just confirm this before we take our first break, that there will be someone there at the event to help you with technology if you are not the best, which I stink at this. And I bring my husband to all of these things to do all that kind of stuff because I just tell him, okay, bid on this, bid on that, whatever. But there will actually be somebody there helping. Yes. And I think that's really important.
Yes, we have some wonderful volunteers from the Miss Western Massachusetts Scholarship Program. So they participate in Miss Massachusetts, Miss America. So we have the 2 teen representatives from Western Mass. and one of the adult participants that are coming to help out. And they've done that for the last several years, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So they come with their tiaras and their sash, and they add this elegance to the event too.
Little glam.
And, yes.
Little
and
bling.
They'll walk around and help out anybody who's
Nice.
having an issue. And we usually also have a computer at the back too.
Okay.
For those who aren't comfortable doing it on their phone,
Yeah.
they can always come up and we can help them at our kiosk as well.
Perfect. Sounds like my kind of an event. All right, let's take a short break. If you're just joining me, my guest this morning is Nikki Cornelius. We're talking everything Stanley Park, the gem of Westfield. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. When we come back, we're going to talk about Run Stanley T-shirt, Run Stanley. So, Run Stanley, among other things, there is, people can bring their dogs and run with their dogs. So, to intro that, we are going to listen to Matchbox 20 singing Wild Dogs Running in a Slow Dream. We'll be back.
We were eyes wide open when the world got dark, dancing to a rhythm that felt so hard you could feel it. You could feel it. And blood ice cold, baby, racing through my veins, chasing down a feeling that I can't explain, but I need it. Yeah, I need it. And the wild dogs calling from the other side. Come on over, we can run all night. And the world just stops, but the night goes on, and the strangest sound, like a wave that keeps on crashing over me. And when you hear it calling out underneath your window, there's a world outside that's waiting, saying, come on, come on, come on. We got a restless feeling, and in a world of people, there's only you and me. Wild dogs running in a slow dream. Wild dogs running in a slow dream. We would crash, hard falling like a waterfall, slow sweat dancing in the music hall. We were shining, yeah, we were trying. Got a slow start running, we were picking up steam. All-time lows and small-town scenes on the big screen. And the world just stops, but the night goes on, and the strangest sound, like the waves that keep on crashing over me. So when you hear it calling out underneath your window, there's a world outside that's waiting, saying, come on, come on, come on. We got a restless feeling, and in a world of people, there's only you and me. The wild dogs running in a slow dream. And if we get lost somewhere, God, I hope we never will be found. 'Cause everybody else's small town dreams are crashing over me. And when you hear it calling out underneath your window, there's a world outside that's waiting, it's saying, come on, come on, come on. We got a restless feeling, and in a world of people, there's only you and me. Wild dogs running in a slow dream. Wild dogs running in a slow dream. Hey, wild dogs running in a slow dream.
Support for the community programming is provided by the Dunkin' Donut shops of Westfield and the Sardina family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:36. You are watching Cable Channel 15, WCPC. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. My name is Tina Gorman. I am your Wake Up Wednesday host, and my guest this morning is Nikki Cornelius. Nikki is the development coordinator at Stanley Park. And Nikki, how long have you been at Stanley Park now? It's been a few years.
Yes.
Are you 3?
My 4th season. It seems
season.
weird. I started in 23. I was actually saying this yesterday. It seemed like from the math it should be 3 years, but this is my 4th season.
Your 4th season going into...
Yes.
This stuff.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
So we talked about the fact that, summer's winding down, kids are going back to school, but remember there's still Friday morning children's programming this Friday,
yes.
which is I think it's just the greatest way to end the summer. But you do have, a couple more big events. We talked about the one on September 12th. Yes. What's Heritage in Bloom? Is that the name of it?
Heritage in Bloom.
Heritage in Bloom. That's the name of this year's big fundraiser. And that is really your big fundraiser, your big annual.
Correct.
But you have another one, which is also an annual event that's been happening for quite a few years. I know because I've been on this committee for quite a few years. And that is Run Stanley, which is not just a race.
No.
It's way more than that. It's a trail run, fun for all. The stroll and roll, which we combined, used to be the wheel walk, so that all got combined. So, Nikki, tell us about Run Stanley.
So Run Stanley takes place first Sunday of October every year. So this year it's October 4th. We have a Munchkin Run for the elementary school students. We throw a contest in there. The school with the most participants wins our school spirit trophy. Last several years it's been Highland Ave. So we'd love to see some other schools participating and give them a run for their money because they've held that title now the last few years. They run around the rec field, so it's about 2/3 of a mile that the kids do. We have students from Westfield State University who come over and set up a warm-up area for the kids. So it's like a little obstacle course, jumping through hula hoops, and they have the big...
the big balloon, the balloon thing or whatever that
and
is.
They bounce balls on there, and the kids have a blast doing the warm-up, and then they do their run. And when they finish, they run over to the Dunkin' Donuts sponsored table and get their munchkins.
Absolutely.
And then from there, so we all watch and cheer the kids on.
That's like the highlight of the day.
Really
let's be real, Nikki. It's fun with all this other stuff, but watching those kids
cross,
and I always put myself where they're heading toward the finish line because they veer off. They get confused, so we're hurting them over there. But I just the expressions on their face, and they're so excited and they're so proud and they're so exhausted. You get these little 5 and 6-year-old kids, and it's a blast. Everybody watches and cheers them.
Absolutely. So last couple years, they've all gotten a medal as they're running through the finish line too, which they think is great. Mm-hmm. So. That really is such a great way
so that's
kick
the
off
Munchkin Run.
The Munchkin Run. And then we have our stroll and roll, so the 1 mile fully accessible walk. So we have, families who will do that. Grandpa's pushing the little one in the stroller while mom's getting ready to run down in the sanctuary by herself or with her dog.
Yep.
So it really is a multi-generational event for everybody to participate in. We really wanted to make sure that it was all-inclusive, the park.
I have to say, as far as runs go and run walks go, this is probably the most inclusive that I've ever participated in. And, there are a lot of runs where you do a 5K and they'll have a walk, and you'll see people pushing strollers and stuff. But this one, there's a separate run for the children, which makes them feel included. I love the fact that the Westfield State movement science students, usually most of them, come over. And as you said, Nikki, they warm the kids up beforehand, which, first of all, is just healthy for them anyway to kind of get them to stretch and so forth. But it's so much fun for them. So, you can, we watch all of that. And you've got the canine run.
Yes.
So those are people who can run with their dogs. And that run, I want to make this point for all you runners out there. when this first started the first year, the canines, the runner, everybody went out together. We didn't have the Munchkin Run, and the wheel walk was a separate, event on a separate day.
Yes.
So the dogs and the people ran together. I did not run with a dog, but I got so tangled up a few times in dog leashes and so forth that I came back, and when they asked us, how did it go? I said, if you do it where we're running with the dogs, I'm not doing it again, because I don't run with a dog. And I said, I found it to be kind of dangerous. So they took all that to heart, because I wasn't the only runner that said that, non-canine runner.
Yes.
So now the canines and their owners and runners go first. They go separately.
Yeah.
So which is great. And they go first, right? They go, so after we have the Munchkin, and then we get the strollers ready, and then they start the running event. So the canines go separately. And then a few minutes later, then just the people running without, just doing the trail run. And it is a trail run. That's the other thing that I think people need to understand. It's not a road race.
Right.
And a trail run, if you're a runner, is very different than a road race, because a road race is just that. You're running on a hard pavement surface. Trail run, you do need to be a little careful, because there are some routes and things like that. Everything is well marked. There's a team from the committee that goes out the day before, and they spray paint like the higher routes.
Yes.
I found that to be super helpful when I was running.
Yeah. I actually had a friend up from Florida like the weekend after last year's race, and he had gone and run through there and was like, that's amazing. You guys spray the routes. I'm like, oh, you just came on the right week.
We came
buddy.
on the right week. We didn't have any rain that washed it off or anything, but yeah. And they blow the leaves. They, try to get the leaves out of that.
The path is very clear, because there are, multiple paths down there in the sanctuary, so making sure everything is signed so you're not going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Yes, our committee
It's a beautiful course. I mean, you're running over some of the bridges, some of the covered bridges, and you're out in the woods. It's just, and you're not going to get lost, because there are plenty of volunteers pointing you in a direction. There are signs all over the place.
Yes.
And unless you're the first person there, you're going to be following the feet of the person in front of you anyway.
Absolutely.
And what I really liked about it, now I help to coordinate the the stroll and roll, so I'm walking. But one of the things that when I was running the trail that I really liked was, because it's a trail run and not a road race, I put no pressure on myself for a time, because it's your time is obviously going to be slower than a road race. You're up and down hills, and you're navigating routes and different areas. So it was really just, for me, it was just more about the scenery and the camaraderie and the students and the people cheering you on along the way, and it's just really fun, and it is exactly what you said, Nikki. Lots of times we have whole families, and we have 4 or 5 different people doing different things. So we've got, the kids running in the Munchkin Run, somebody pushing a stroller, or, the grandparents or whoever doing the stroll and roll. And then we have somebody with a dog who's doing that one, and then the person without the dog just do it. And that's, to me, that's the beauty of the event. I just think it's it's a unique event.
It is.
Yeah.
And we do, for the Munchkins, we don't charge them an entry fee. If they want a T-shirt, there's a charge. But we want to make sure that all the students can come and participate in this. And for the older students, high school, college, we do a discounted registration so that they, too, aren't prohibited by the cost of it, because we do want everyone to be able to participate in the race.
Yeah. And we thank the sponsors. I know you have a lot of sponsors this year as well.
We do. We have 2 title sponsors, co-title sponsors. So Ponders Hollow, who's on your sleeve.
Yes, Ponders Hollow is on my sleeve.
They are coming back again.
Okay, there you go. There's one. Here we go.
They have been a wonderful supporter the last several years. And this year, Comfort Bagel is our other co-sponsor for the big event. So we're really excited to have them and the support of our community, because it is such a great thing for people to participate in. And you can't say enough about even just getting out in nature and walking or running through the sanctuary. Like, the benefits of doing that alone is so great for people.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that we want to encourage everyone to do. And for a lot of people, too, either they don't know about the sanctuary, or they've always been a little nervous about going down there by themselves. So this is also a great opportunity to get to go down there. You're in a large group. It's safe, and you kind of get the lay of the land, and then you're totally fine with going back there by yourself.
Yep, sort of getting the hang of the way the park is situated and what the park offers, which is, there are so many different areas to the park. If you go to the duck pond, that's one area. If you go to the rose garden, that's one. It's a big park with a lot to offer.
Right,
so,
and some people only ever go to the rose garden. They have no idea what's on the other side.
Correct.
And
correct.
I've talked to people who've, in their 20s who've been coming to the park for as long as they can remember that had no idea the sanctuary was down there.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely a great thing for people to go and experience.
Absolutely. So registration is open for Run Stanley.
Yes.
And again, don't let the title fool you. It's Run Stanley, but there's a big walking group that where we have a lot of we have a lot of people from the senior center who do our fitness classes who participate. We have a lot of people from the YMCA who do some of the programs over there that also participate both with the running as well as with the stroll and roll. And speaking of that, we are going to take our quarter-hour break. So you are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15 WCPC. If you're just joining us this morning, my guest is Nikki Cornelius. She's the development coordinator at Stanley Park. We're talking all about our upcoming Run Stanley event, which will take place on Sunday, October 4th in the morning. So our song is, we have to play this. Pete plays this whenever we go out. Pete is our DJ for the day, and he plays this whenever we go out walking. So it is the Diamonds singing The Stroll. We'll be back.
Come, let's stroll across the floor. Come, let's stroll across the floor. Now turn around, baby, let's stroll once more. Feels so good, take me by my hand. I feel so good, take me by my hand. And let's go strolling in Wonderland.
Support for community programming provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. Visit bettsplumbing.com or 14 Coleman Avenue, Westfield. Public welcome.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
107.5 FM WSFD. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 107.5 FM WSFD-LP Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. It is 7:51. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15, WCPC. My guest this morning is Nikki Cornelius. Nikki is the development coordinator at Stanley Park. We've been talking about some of the fundraisers, but I want to switch gears, Nikki, and talk a little bit about some of these really interesting and unique programs that you've been doing, sort of health and wellness, kind of fitness.
Yes.
Tell us about those.
So thanks to a sponsorship from Health New England, we were able to add quite a bit of options to our calendar this year. One of the things that I had been really interested in and learning and hearing a lot about was forest bathing. So we've had monthly sessions. Our next one is actually coming up this Saturday from 10 to noon. And if you aren't familiar with it, I definitely recommend doing a little research on it. Our guide was actually on Mass Appeal last month.
Okay.
So if you're on social media, we shared that out on our Facebook page. She does a really great job of explaining it. But basically, it's... they realized back in the 80s in Japan that everyone was moving out of the suburbs and into the big cities, and they noticed everyone's mental health was definitely changing. And they decided to do some research into that and realized that people weren't spending enough time outside. And, we as humans, that's where we were meant to be.
Yep.
And they put a lot of research into it and realized that if you spend, an hour or two out in nature, just separating yourself from your busy daily life, that it increased your mood. It helped with so many mental health issues, and it also really helps you slow down and just stop and recognize things. So as you're doing this, it's a very slow walk through the sanctuary. We really don't go very far into it. So it's not like a 2-hour hike through the woods. It is definitely not what's happening. It's definitely something that is for all ages. But it's intentions. You stop and you're using all of your senses to notice what is around you. So you'll start off maybe like listening. What do you hear that's up close? What do you hear that's off in the distance? And then you come together as a group and discuss what you noticed. Sometimes everyone kind of picked up on the same thing. The first session that I participated in, when we were doing that, there was some runners who ran by because we're in the sanctuary, and that was the thing we all noticed. And it's just, you leave feeling lighter. Like so much stress has been lifted off your shoulders. The forest bathing title, I think, is a little confusing and off-putting to some. There is no actual bathing involved.
It's not a bathtub in the forest.
Yeah, you're not going in the river.
Yeah, we were talking about this off air, but the first time I heard that term, I thought, what in the world is forest? And that's all I could think of was like, what did they take bathtubs or showers out there, or what? What's going on? And then when I heard about it, I said, okay, so you're sort of bathing in the essence of the forest and nature, and sort of becoming one with that. And it's absolutely a way to decompress, take a breath.
It is.
So that's this Saturday.
This Saturday,
10 to 12.
Yes.
And where do you meet?
We meet at the entrance to the Frank Stanley Beveridge Wildlife Sanctuary, the entrance that's across from the rec field, so right past the bathrooms. It does have a limited number of participants, so you do have to register on our website. The guide doesn't like to bring out too large of a group because then you kind of get lost in and there's not enough time for everybody to talk about the things that they noticed. But it's just such a nice way to stop, slow down, shut off the outside world and just
unplug.
be with yourself in nature and do something good for yourself.
Perfect.
Yeah, the self-care you can't say enough about. Like, it is so important to, set aside some time for you and do something that's good for your body and your mind.
Absolutely. I noticed that you are wearing a T-shirt that I had never seen before because I've got all my Run Stanley T-shirts, but your T-shirt says "Meet me at Stanley Park, Westfield." You've got some pine trees there and a bridge.
Yes.
So so is this new, or where does one get that T-shirt, Nikki?
Yes.
Or was that exclusively for you?
Oh no, this is definitely something you can purchase. So we have an online store that you can access through our website, which is stanleypark.org.
Right.
Under the general info tab, there's shop branded merchandise, or under the support us tab, you can get to it there as well. But we have this great company we're working with that does print on demand stuff. So you can go on, and this logo here, you could have printed on a pink T-shirt. You could have it printed on a long sleeve, on a sweatshirt.
So
you can, and then within those options, you can pick different colors for those things too. So it's really customizable. We have been using it for a couple years, but this is one of our new prints that we just launched. So the Meet Me at Stanley Park, it's got our stone bridge that's down at the frog pond, which we turned into look like a coloring book image. We also have one with a black squirrel on it that says "Respect the Locals," and we have a new kids shirt with our new Goosebumps logo. So it's two geese doing a fist bump, which is a lot of fun. And there's also other shirts styles on there as well that you can get, but it's a great way to support Stanley Park, and we get a portion of the proceeds from it. And
see, I look at it and say it's a great way to support Stanley Park and do your Christmas shopping at the same time.
Too.
I know it's only August. But you know what? September 1 comes, the kids go back to school. The next thing, we're talking about Halloween, then we're talking about Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is on us. And, I would say this. We are, in my family, we love Stanley Park. I mean, like when my granddaughter knows she's going to Stanley Park and we get the duck food and we get the whole thing, she's all about that. So, I love the fact that you have something for children because I'm all over that for Christmas. And my daughter, as the mom, she's, and those are just, to me, they're walking billboards for the park. So why not? I love that.
I know. I love. My niece stopped by yesterday with a Stanley Park shirt on that I got her for Christmas this last year. I was so excited. I'm like, did you do that on purpose because you knew you were coming? And
there you go. Oh, she was all excited. So great. So how can people, I'm a member, but how can people support the park? Let's just finish up with that. We just have a couple minutes left.
So we have our yearly membership program, the Partner in Preservation. That's a great way to support the park. We do several fundraising drives throughout the year, and there's donation boxes in the park as well. There's so many different ways that, given a little, one of our fundraiser committee members had said, if every person that came to the park donated $1 that day, we wouldn't need to do as much of this as we do.
Yeah.
And that statement it really hit hard. Like, wow, that.
Yes, that's absolutely true. I say that, at the senior center, we've done food drives. And I said, with all the people coming in and out of here, just like the park, with all the people coming in and out, I said, if everybody brought one food item, we'd be good. The food drive is over. Everybody brought one. We have like 300 or 400 items. It's the same thing with the park. If everybody, just put their $1 in.
Right. And there's a woman who, in my time here, every year has sent $2 to $1 bills in the envelope that she gets every year. And that means, more to us than, a lot of the bigger, not that those don't matter, but, she's on a fixed income. And she's still doing what she can to help this beautiful place that means something to her.
And consistency is really important for the park, when you're trying to plan and you have staff, and you've got your grounds and, all of those things with the cost. But we are out of time. I want to thank Nikki Cornelius. Nikki is the development coordinator at Stanley Park. Again, the bidding is open for the September 12th raffles and, all the auctions that are going on with that. So that's on the website. If you want to get tickets to the event, Friday's the deadline to purchase your tickets for the event. Run Stanley, the registration is open, has been open. So whether you're walking, running, bringing a dog, whatever you're doing, you can go on the website, you can register. That will happen on Sunday, October 4th. We've got the forest bathing coming up this Saturday. And, every spring we get one of these. I get one of these in the mail. It's the Stanley Park. There it is. It is the Stanley Park, the hard copy. But, of course, all of this is on your website as well.
It is.
So, because we've got the Sunday night concert series, we have the children's programming, and then you've got, Zumba and yoga and all kinds of other things going on in the park. And just, the playgrounds, the ducks, and it doesn't get any better.
No,
all right, I will meet you. We will meet Nikki at Stanley Park
for Run Stanley.
All right, I am off next week. A reminder that next Tuesday is Election Day, so I have the graveyard shift at the Senior Center. So that means I don't do the show on Wednesday morning because I'm not getting home at 11 and then getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Why not?
So yeah, I know. In the old days, I did that. No, I'm too old for that now. So I will see you in 2 weeks. We'll probably be doing either an analysis next week or a best of. You are listening to WSFD 107.5 FM on your dial. You are watching cable channel 15, WCPC. Take care. Have a good week.
Employing over 140 skilled